welcome to the reading vlog. If you read the title, you already know what time it is. We're starting her. I know. I decided I'm gonna start with Throne of Glass and not start with Assassin's Blade. I know that there's a lot of discourse online about which one you should start with. I did my research. I know the impact both will have, and I know that I will be going back in time if I do start with Throne of Glass and read this one third or fourth or however I wish to read it. I don't care. I don't really mind going back in time if it means that I will have a harder emotional experience. Like if the emotional impact is at a 10, I'm choosing that route. And we're gonna start it right now. We don't have much time to read right now because my husband's coming home from work soon and we have to go pick up dinner. So yeah, I have about 20 minutes until he gets home. So I'm gonna try to read as much as I can in the next 20 minutes and we're just gonna take it from there. All right, we've got our map. What is the name of this place? Is that an E? Aurelia? What's the name of the continent that Throne of Glass is on?
The continent that Throne of Glass is on is Aurelia.
Aurelia, okay. So we have the continent of Aurelia, and we have the Western Waste, the deserted land, the Gulf of Oro, Great Ocean, Narrow Sea, Terracin, Jungle of Morla. Wait, there's a lot of different places on here. All right, we're just gonna get right into it. Chapter 1. Okay, well, she's a prisoner and they're trying to take her somewhere where they don't want her to figure out how to get there, I guess, or how to get back or something. Kale Westfall? How lovely it was to hear a voice like her own, cool and articulate, even if he was a nasty brute. So they're from like the same whatever, like I don't know if they're called countries or not. Like I don't know how this works yet, but I think they're from the same place. So she's a fighter. She was standing in front of the Crown Prince of Adarlan. Who is he? So, what I'm gathering is Celaena is a very strong and popular assassin, and she's also a smartass, and I love her so far. So, let's keep going. Also, this Kale, I don't know why I got a little feeling that there might be something with them. I know this is not like a huge romance book, but a girl can hope, okay? There's just something about like a man in charge and a strong-headed female main character that gives soulmates simply meant to be. We'll see. Okay, little break time. I have to go meet my husband downstairs. He's here. We're gonna go get our food and we're gonna come back, eat, and then we're coming right back to this corner to continue our vlog. Good morning, friends. I am about 10 pages, not 10 pages, oh my god, 10 chapters into this book. So I'm gonna do a little recap. I have a bunch of little pages tabbed if you can't see already. So yeah, I'm gonna do a little update on my thoughts and feelings and all of the tabs that I have in here up until chapter 10. But first, I really want to go get a coffee because I have no coffee pods here and I have no milk, so I can't even have like a matcha or anything. So I think I'm gonna go drive to Dunkin' and just pick up a coffee in the drive-thru, and then I'll come back and talk about this with you guys. So yeah, let's go change. I'm wearing my Inter Miami jersey right now because we had a game last night for Leagues Cup and we won 3-1. Amazing. And my boy Frey finally played after his injury. They finally put him in the second half and he was absolutely killing it. He was doing amazing. They didn't play too well in the first half, I'm not gonna lie, but the second half is like where we usually shine and thrive. So it was a good second half at least. So yeah, anyways, let's go change and then we're gonna go get coffee. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. Thank you.
Or latte, my bad.
Okay, thank you. You too. I got an iced caramel latte with skim milk and a warmed up bagel twist. Let's go. It's your tea twist. Right. Oh, it just turned green. Okay. Perfect. Like the perfect amount of coffee, the perfect amount of, sorry, the music is blaring. The perfect amount of coffee and the perfect amount of like caramel. Not too much milk either. That's perfect. I love it. This song reminds me of summer. Also reminds me of when I was younger.
She's cold and she's cruel, but she knows what she's doing. She pushed me in the pool at a last school reunion.
All right, we are back home. We have our breakfast. We have our bagel twist for breakfast and our iced latte. My cats are awake, they're playing. She's a little stale, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm gonna eat her because I'm hungry. Okay. It's time, guys. Let's talk about the first 10 chapters. I read 2 chapters. I'm also really sorry for the sound outside. I have my windows open because it's beautiful out. And if I close them, I'm gonna have to get up and go turn on the AC. And I really just don't want to do that today. So we're gonna hope and pray that you can barely hear the noise out there. So in chapter 1, we learned who Celaena... My camera's dying now. Okay, it's a little bit of like a different view now. It's a little bit more like zoomed in. I'm sorry. My camera just died, so we're filming on my phone now. But we only just started. So as I was saying, in chapter 1, we learned who Celaena was, and we found out that she's like this big, well-known assassin in Adarlan. I don't really know how to say the names, so forgive me if I butcher it. We also met Kale, who is like the king's guard, I guess, or like, I don't know if he's the king's guard or the prince's guard, but he's one of the royal guards, or he's like the captain of the royal guard. So he's like big man in charge or whatever. And yeah, we got some like banter between the two of them. In chapter 1, I only had 1 tab, and that was a white tab, which means this is something that I think is important. The part where she's like discussing magic and kind of talking about how there used to be magic and that, you know, it doesn't exist anymore basically, and that it like basically vanished. I put on my sticky note, it says there was magic, like there was magic, question mark, what happened? So I'm very curious about where the magic went, how it's gone, why it's gone, you know, all that good stuff. And then at the end of chapter 1 is where she met Dorian. Not met him per se, I think she's met him before this, but she's face to face with him. In chapter 2, I have my first tab on the second page of the chapter, and it's a female rage tab, and on it I literally just wrote asshole, because this is the part where she's being sarcastic with the prince and everything, and she's just like not giving him the respect that he deserves, I guess, or that people think he deserves. So this is where Kale like drags her down and like tells her this is the proper way that you treat your future king. Yeah, I was angry. I was like, who the hell does this guy think he is? So yeah, that was my first tab of chapter 2. My second tab in chapter 2 is on like page 4. It's like on the 4th page into the chapter, and it's a white tab, and it's basically just going further into detail of who Celaena is, how she's so well known as a assassin. Like everybody knows the name Celaena Sardothien. So on that tab I put she's a badass assassin with a heart, because yes she is. Okay, and then at the end of chapter 2 is where Dorian basically tells her, I have a proposition for you, and she's like, okay, well, I'm listening. In chapter 3 I didn't have any tabs, so then we go straight into chapter 4. Chapter 3 was also very short. It was like, let's see, 1 2 3 4, like 5 full pages at most of words. So it was a very short chapter. I didn't really have much to tab in that one. Chapter 4 is just basically them traveling, and I didn't have anything really to say in that chapter either. I didn't have any tabs. And then chapter 5, I have on the second page of the chapter a white like tab. So I marked this as maybe it's important. I think I need to remember this. It's the part where they're explaining that she was only 8 when Arabin, her mentor and the King of Assassins, found her half submerged. On the tab that I put, I said, was she kidnapped? What happened? Because she was 8 years old when this Arabin person, you know, found her or whatever. So I just want to know what happened before that. Like, who was she before that? Where was she before that? How did she end up where she was? Yeah, so I just had a lot of questions, so I tabbed that as important. I just tabbed that as important because I was like, okay, well, we need to know like what happened before then, because I feel like that's pretty important for character development especially. And then on the next page over, I had another white tab, and it was when Celaena was explaining to Kale and the other like guards or whatever that the forest was like Brandon's forest or something, and that it like used to be full of fairies and fae, and now they're just gone. They like disappeared or whatever. Obviously that's important because it goes back hand in hand with what I read in the first few chapters about magic existing, because obviously where there's fairies and fae, there has to be magic. So I just put magic question mark, forest question mark, Brandon question mark. So again, lots of questions, but I think that's important. Then I didn't have another tab until the end of chapter 6. It was a yellow tab. This one, I don't think I found it cute or funny. I think I just put it because I really liked this quote, which is literally what I wrote on it. I said, love this quote. It was the quote, a lovely girl gazing at the stars and the stars who gazed back. And it just gave me like the ACOTAR vibes of to the stars who listen and the dreams that are answered. That just gave me that kind of vibe, and I was like, oh, that's really cute. I like that. And then there was like a conversation between Dorian and the king, and you can kind of tell like their dynamic with each other. I feel like Dorian doesn't really like his dad, and the dad is just like, I don't really like him. So there was that in that chapter. I didn't really tab anything else in there because I felt like it wasn't really important. We get into chapter 8 where Celaena is kind of exploring with Kale, and they find the library and everything. And then my next tab comes at her note to Dorian. I put, she's literally so funny. If you know the letter that she sends, then you understand. My next tab comes literally right after that from Dorian's response to her. I put cute LOL. I feel like there's like this flirty little dynamic between them, and I don't know if I'm here for it because I don't really like Dorian yet. I feel like I'm gonna like him eventually, but I just don't like him yet. Like, I kind of like Kale. He's giving me like protector vibes, and he like has this banter back and forth with her. It's kind of funny, but I don't know. I kind of don't root for either of them. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like either of them. They have my girl captive right now. It's literally so loud outside. Like, what? Why is everybody out right now? It's literally like 10 o'clock in the morning. Shouldn't they be at work? So at the end of chapter 9, I tabbed 2 times, literally right after, like one after the other, one here, one here. And it's the part where he goes, Celaena. She blinked, her cheeks burning. Kale's features softened. He's just a man, but a man you should treat with the respect his rank demands. He began walking with her, slower. This meeting is only to remind you and the other champions of why you're here and what you're to do, and what you stand to gain. You're not on trial. You will not be tested today. So, after that part alone, I tallied butterflies, okay? I put butterflies, huh? Like, why is Kale giving me butterflies right now, right? You would think that's where it stopped. But I put in caps, again, butterflies at the end because, let me read this one to you. Celaena. He stopped a few feet from the guards. His eyes were rich, molten brown. Yes, her heartbeat steadied. You look rather pretty today, was all he said before the doors opened and they walked forward. Celaena raised her chin as they entered the crowded room. Are you kidding me? This is what I mean. Like, I kinda am rooting for Kale, but I really don't know because he still has her captive. Like, he's still technically, like, he's not her security guard. He's literally guarding for the prince. So, like, he's on the prince's side. It's very much giving, like, Roman Empire. Like, what? So now we are 66 pages in through the book, and I can absolutely say that I'm loving it so far. It really is giving me, like, Roman Empire vibes. Like, you have to fight for the king so that you gain your freedom. What do you mean? But she's badass. She's so cool. So yeah, I really don't know what's gonna happen next, but I'm excited to find out.
These arms are mine.
Hi guys, it's a few days later. I haven't been able to read much because I've been doing overnight shifts for work because we're getting so much shipment, but I am now on chapter 19, so I've only got through 9 chapters I think since we last spoke, but I do have some more tabs and I kind of want to go over some of them. They're not like very important, but I do want to still like just get my 2 cents in about them because there were some things that I was like, wait a minute. Started off on chapter 10, and this was basically when she met with the king. Like, all the champions met with the king and they were basically finding out why they were there and what the whole purpose of them being there was. She mentioned something about a sword. Nothing, I can't say it correctly, but the sword has a name, and I was like, oh, like, I feel like that's pretty important, so I tabbed that. She met the princess of, I can't say these places names, like the countries. Ilwe, I don't know how to say it, but she met her, and yeah, she like became buddies with the princess basically because they both speak the same tongue, which kind of gave me some insight on Celaena as a person. I was like, why does she know this language? So that was something that was like in the back of my mind. And then at the end of chapter 14, going along with that thought, she was talking to Kale about his family and his parents and how he came to be where he is now. He was asking about her parents then. He's like, what about your parents? What do your parents make of their daughter being Adarlans Assassin? And she goes, my parents are dead. They died when I was 8. And that is why I tabbed it important, because she was found in the river, I'm pretty sure it said, by Arabin when she was 8. So now I know that her parents died, and that's how she ended up with Arabin, but I still don't understand what happened in between that. I still don't understand what happened before that. Like, how did her parents die? All this stuff. In chapter 16, I think this is, yeah, chapter 16, I tabbed 2 female rage, mainly at the part where she was telling Kale about how she got the scars on her back her first few days in Endovir, and how there was one woman who helped her, and then when she went to go thank her, she found out that the guards raped and killed her. And yeah, that pissed me off. So female rage tabs there. And then chapter 17 was very much Dorian's, not POV, but like his story and more about him. So I didn't really tab anything there, but it was fun to learn a little bit more about him and learn that he's like not your typical like prince, and how he actually sees what's going on outside the castle, and he understands the world outside of his own little world. Like, I'm very invested in the story, but I want answers like now. I want to know more about Celaena. I want to know more about Dorian. I kind of want to know more about Kale, but not really. Like, I'm more invested in Celaena and Dorian's like backstory right now. Also this princess, I want to know more about her because she seems like she's gonna be a great ally for Celaena. But yeah, that's where we are right now. I have to make breakfast right now because I'm so hungry and I have to go to work soon, so I'm gonna make breakfast, and while I do that I'm gonna listen to the audiobook for at least like 2 or 3 chapters, and then I will get ready for work, and I probably won't be able to read anymore today, but I'm off tomorrow, so we're gonna try to read as much as we can. We're gonna wake up pretty early and just sit in our little corner and read. So we'll read a little bit more tomorrow together.
Look out, here she comes.
What the fuck just happened? She's literally in this like basement, whatever this place is called, and she's talking to a dead queen, and the queen is basically telling her like, you're the key and that Aurelia needs you as the king's champion, so you better not fucking die. Yeah. Guys, I've literally been reading all day, okay? I'm on chapter 36 now, and I haven't really tabbed much because I've just been very invested in the story itself, but I have so much to say, it's not even funny. Nahima, hello? I had no idea that she would turn out to be bad, maybe, question mark, I don't really know. But she was lying to Celaena, which is kind of fair because Celaena's lying to her too. And like all of these murders that are happening, right? Who's doing it? What is doing it? Because that a single person cannot be like taking organs out, ripping literal entire torsos apart, and like, what's doing it? My theory is that magic still exists, and there's someone in the castle, and they're doing magic and they're taking out Celaena's opponents. So I don't know, I have so many different theories. Like, my first theory, someone in the castle who cares about Celaena. So I'm thinking Dorian or Kale or maybe Nahima still. I don't really know because now she's lying to her about speaking their language. I think one of the 3 are capable of doing magic, and they're just simply taking out Celaena's like rivals so that she can win or whatever. But then also my other theory is that she went into the tomb, right, and she found out that it was Elena's tomb and everything, and now she's talking to this goddess or whatever. Maybe it's like a god or a goddess who's channeling their magic or something. I don't really know. I don't know. I have so many theories. I don't know what's happening. I literally only have this much left, okay? And I fully intend on finishing this today, within the next like hour, 2 hours. How many pages are left? Less than 100 pages. I can do this. This is easy. Oh, Dorian, he's so cute. Chapter 39, Dorian finally kissed Celaena. No, Kale. Kale was watching. It says, in the garden, the captain of the guard stared up at the young woman's balcony, watching as she waltzed alone, lost in her dreams. But he knew that her thoughts weren't of him. She stopped and stared upward. Even from a distance he could see the blush upon her cheeks. She seemed young. No. New. It made his chest ache. Still, he watched and watched until she sighed and went inside. She never bothered to look below. Why am I about to cry? Oh my god, Kale. that deserves a tap. Ain't no way they're plotting to kill her. There is no shot. This Duke Pennington or Parrington or whatever his name is, he gives me very much Varish from Fourth Wing vibes. Like, he just sounds like a creep. He sounds old and bitter and like he just hates everything because he is nothing. Anyways. There's footprints. Low-key, I don't want Nehemia to be bad. Like, I don't want her to die. She was, I don't know. She just seemed so sweet and like a genuine friend for Celaena. She quieted her steps and shielded her candle as she neared. It wasn't the idle chat of servants, but someone speaking rapidly, almost chanting. Chanting? I'm telling you, Nehemia is a witch. Or not a witch, a fairy. A fairy, and she's using magic. Maybe she's using magic to help Celaena, though. Maybe Celaena's got it all wrong. Maybe she's not bad. Maybe she's helping. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Not Nehemia. A man. It's a man. Who? Kale? It would be Kale. Cain? Cain? That makes sense. That does make sense. But why? They better not kill Celaena. Obviously, they're not going to kill Celaena. She's the main character. Unless she's not the main character. I mean, she might not be the main character. She might not be the main character. What's that other character's name that I keep hearing? Aelin? Aelin something. Maybe she's the main character? Maybe they kill Celaena and then... What's her name? Aelin, like, comes... Maybe, like, she's a spirit or something. She comes back and avenges Celaena. I don't know. I have no idea what's happening. Nehemia! Nehemia! And here I thought Nehemia was bad 5 minutes ago. I thought she was one of the bad guys. I thought we were gonna go kill her in that tomb. Phew. She told her who she is. That's why she speaks that language. Ilwe? This is what I mean. Insults would have risen to her lips if Kale hadn't touched her shoulder. His chestnut eyes filled with some emotion she couldn't yet understand. There was strength in his face that she found to be achingly beautiful. Yes! Bro, I'm literally Team Kale. Now, if he turns out to be a Tamlin, I'm gonna be pissed. Don't lose, he whispered so only she could hear. I don't feel like having to escort you all the way back to Endovir. The world became foggy around the edges as he stepped away, his head held high as he ignored the white-hot glare of the king. He don't give a fuck. He doesn't care. Like, he tries so hard to be this, like, this top-tier warrior, general, whatever, king's guard, captain. He tries to be an honorable man for the king, but he is honorable to this woman and this woman only. And I know it. I already know it. I forgot she was poisoning her. Bruh, do something. Literally anything. She was literally poisoned. Bro, I'm getting so annoyed. Let's go. Elena. Oh, yeah. Okay, so she was hallucinating because of the poison. Elena says, once the poison is gone, you will not see me. You will not see the demons. Stand, Elena whispered again and was gone. The world appeared. Cain was close, not a trace of shadow around him. Celaena lifted the jagged remnant of the staff in her hand. Her gaze cleared. And so, struggling and shaking, Celaena stood. Yes, she did, because she's a badass assassin. Cale couldn't stop staring at his blood-soaked hands. He'd killed him. Cale, Dorian breathed. In his arms, Celaena had gone utterly still. What have I done? Cale asked him. I think my heart just stopped. If he changes his mind about her being his champion after everything she's just went through, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm literally gonna be so mad. Like, I hope she just beheads him or something. Like, okay, so Nehemia gave Celaena all the answers. Like, she explained everything that she was doing and why she was lying about certain things. So now they're good. Now they're not lying to each other, at least. I feel bad rooting for like the end of her and Dorian, but I am so excited to see what happens with her and Cale, because I think Cale's better for her, I'm not gonna lie. Again, if he turns out to be a Tamlin or something, I'm gonna be so mad. Or if Dorian turns out to be a Tamlin, I can't handle that. And sure enough, she's with Cale at the end. Celaena Sardothien, the king's champion, he mused. What about it? I like the sound of it, he said, shrugging. Do you want to know what your first mission will be? She looked at his golden brown eyes and all of the promises that lay within them, and linked her arm with his as she smiled. Tell me tomorrow. And that's the end of that. That was an adventure, to say the least. It was fun, it was thrilling, it was terrifying at times, but it was fun. My automatic rating is probably gonna be like 4 stars, but that could change the more I sit with it and think about it. The ending is a little happier than I expected it to be, so that kind of threw me off. I didn't expect it to be like, oh, I'm the king's champion now, ha ha ha, and like, yeah. I don't know, I expected a little more like rebellion and stuff, but it is the first book in a very long series, so it could just be that. I am excited to see what happens, because I know for a fact it's not the end, because I have so many questions still. I want to know what the king is planning with Parrington. I want to know what's going to happen to, what's her name? Caltaine, Lady Caltaine. I want to know what's going to happen with her. I want to know what goes on with her and Cale. Does Dorian find love? And then Nehemia, what's going on with her? And like her story, and like what's happening with the people in Eelway. And also I am still curious about Celaena's story. Like, I just want to know how she ended up in the river that Erebin found her in, and what happened with her parents and everything. I just want to know like more. That's all. I know this was like an all over the place reading vlog. I promise the next one won't be. It just has been hectic this week at work for me, so I haven't been able to read much at home. I've only been able to read while I'm at work, and I don't bring my camera to work, so it's just a whole process. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have read this entire series, I want you to comment something that I won't understand from the series. Something that I'll figure out later. That way I can come back and respond to you once I figure out what you're referring to. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!